Heyo, I'm Alin Laphel, artist and VTuber. You may know me from popular streams such as Alin Laphel.
Would you step on this roach? If you can.
And that really bad karaoke stream.
Because here I come, I'm rougher than the rest of them, the best of them, tougher than leather.
I normally do video game streams and art streams with some YouTube shorts on the side. Well, I'm here to tell you about my latest venture. Merch and Artist Alley.
Oh.
Also, if it looks like I'm reading off a script, it's because I am. Behind the scenes, there are two sheepies holding up the signboards for me to read. Anyways, I've been wanting to do this for a while now. Ever since my first time going to Anime Expo. There was all sorts of things you could find in the exhibit hall, but Artist Alley had a lot more. There was a variety of items in all sorts of different styles. Everything felt unique and exclusive. Like, if I got that item over there, it would be a rarity of its own. And if I don't get it now, I may never see it again, you know, because artists come and go. Basically, I FOMO'd myself into spending a lot of money in Artist Alley. But that's not what I'm here to talk about today. Ever since going to Artist Alley, I wanted to try my own hand at having my own booth. You know, selling merch that I drew, meeting new people, both artists and customers. Plus, I wanted to make things that I would like, you know, things that I could own myself. But I never really had the confidence to do so. I never really thought my art was any good for merch. And so the years gone on. Artist Alley-less, merchless, sadness. Until now, my art style has grown since back then, and I gained a lot more confidence in myself. And now, I aim to have my first booth in an Artist Alley. It doesn't necessarily have to be in Anime Expo, especially with how big that is. I imagine I won't be able to get in there that easily. But I'll take any con that's willing to accept me at this point. But I got a long road ahead of me, because despite making so much drawings over the years, I actually never really printed anything. In other words, my inventory is a complete zero. It'll take a lot of effort to learn how to make and build an inventory. And that's why I wanted to make this video series. My aim? To make a weekly video to share my progress towards my goals. That way I can hold myself accountable. I hope by the end of the video series, I can tell you about my great success at my first booth, or biggest failure, depending on what happens. I'm thinking more the latter than the former, but you know what? It'll be fun. You know what they say, it's not about the end game, it's about the journey we friends and things along the way. Yeah. Well, to start off with, you can't really booth at a con without any inventory. I felt like this was my first hurdle, especially after scouting some cons nearby online. I noticed several applications asking for table samples and the items I plan to sell. And I really couldn't answer those questions and apply to those cons because I really didn't have anything. But I suppose the reality is before I can start going to cons, I need to build a decent enough inventory. So, to begin my journey, I opened a Google document and started planning. To begin with, I wanted to think about the types of items I wanted to sell. There was two things I was really considering when it comes to items. One, storage and transportation. Because the last thing I want to do is bring loads of boxes just to sell 5 large items, you know? I probably won't be selling things like blankets and rugs, right? Blankets and rugs coming soon to the merch shop. Check it out now. Second, the price of the item. I wanted to start with something lower price and more common items. Budget is already a thing that I'm worrying about, and I imagine customers will feel the same. I wanted to keep prices low. That way, it could work in 2 ways for me. 1, it'll make it easier for customers to want to buy it. And 2, it'll make it easier for people to notice my merch. I don't mean to undercut myself, but I'll look at other people's prices and see what I could do from there. With all that in mind, I think these are the items I plan to sell. Keychains, stickers, prints, and cards. The first 3 are pretty much con staples. You see a lot of booths sell them. Honestly, it's probably like one of the most common things you'll find at Artist Alley. But the last one is something I feel that could be unique to me. And it's because recently I got back into collecting Pokemon cards. And ask anyone in my chat, they may call me addicted, but I'm actually just very, very passionate. Just don't look at my card collection. Don't look at how much money I spent on these cards in the last few months. During the time of this video, the current set that we have is Prismatic Evolutions, with battle partners on the horizon. And if you know anything about the current card market, or at least if you look back from the future, yeah. So I thought to myself, well, if I can't get the Pokemon cards, why not make the Pokemon cards? Which kind of leads me to my next train of thought. So I have products, I have items that I have in mind, but what kind of things do I make it of? Well, I want to make items that I personally would want myself. And I can only hope that people that are buying things will feel the same way. The merch that I'm looking to make actually would be Hololive, Pokemon, and Hoyoverse games. As for the printing of merch, I'm thinking about Vograce. It's a site that's been recommended to me by both artists and other creators. Vograce is essentially a site where you can send in your designs and they'll print it out and send it back to you. When I browse through the website, there's a lot of fun things you can make, from keychains to stickers to journals to pens. I can even make my own Dakimakuras. That'll have to wait for now. Sorry, Nita. You'll be real one day, my beloved. But preparing for a con is more than just planning and writing. It's the art. There's a lot I need to do to prepare for this, and I need to start now if I even want to have a chance to con by the end of this year. Do people say con, or is it like, I feel like every time I say the word con, it feels like I'm trying to scam people. Booth? Maybe booth. Booth sounds better. So I got to start with some sketch concepts for posters and keychains, but the biggest thing I got done this week is the cards. So what I essentially did was I deconstructed Pokemon cards, mostly Scarlet and Violet set, to make templates. You can see that I took all the smaller elements of each of the cards, and even like the typefaces, I tried to look for something very similar but also royalty free. I made some standard Pokemon cards, standard trainer cards, and full art for both. Along with that, I also made some new card backs to help it be more unique and stand out a little bit more. I'm using some placeholder art from my commissions to test the cards out, just as proof of concept, but I gotta say, the cards are already looking pretty nice. I made some preliminary sketches to prepare me for the workload I have in store. But with that brings an end to my work for week 1. It's a little sporadic, but that's because I actually forgot to take notes. This whole video series is a learning experience for me, guys. It's so that way I can also learn how to make longer form videos, you know? But I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have anything you want to say, comment, like, subscribe. I did the YouTuber thing, guys. This is it. This is my first actual video. Yeah, I'm like a YouTuber now. YouTuber, VTuber. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time, which should be next week, in theory. If I keep up with this, of course. Hopefully. Don't look at me.